Cristiano Ronaldo's incredible transformation, written in a continuous, he was born with nothing, no riches, no spotlight, no guarantees. In a quiet corner of Madeira, Portugal, a boy named Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro would one day rise to become a name the world would never forget. But back then, he was just a dreamer. A skinny boy from a tiny island, chasing a ball through narrow streets with worn shoes and wide eyes. So Cristiano came from a humble home. His father, a municipal gardener, worked hard but struggled with alcoholism. His mother, a cook, sometimes had to beg for food just to keep the family fed. Cristiano shared a room with all his siblings. There were days when dinner was just bread and milk, nights when hunger was louder than sleep. But through it all, one thing kept him going: football. While the kids played for fun, Cristiano played like his life depended on it. Every goal he scored on the dusty streets felt like a promise to his mother that one day she would have to work 2 jobs, a promise to himself that his name would one day be known far beyond Madeira. He trained obsessively, not just in school, but at home, alone, when everyone else rested. At age 12, he left everything behind, his family, friends, and comfort zone, to move to Lisbon and join Sporting CP's academy. For a young boy, it felt like another planet. He cried every night. He was bullied for his accent and teased for his appearance. But instead of giving up, he trained harder. Sometimes he skipped meals just to practice more. He ran alone, lifted weights with water bottles, and did hundreds of sit-ups in his tiny room. He didn't want to be good. He wanted to be the best. Then came the moment that almost changed everything. At 14, doctors diagnosed him with tachycardia, a condition that made his heart beat dangerously fast. It was serious. It could have ended his career before it began. Most kids would have broken down. Not Cristiano. He told his mother, "Let him fix my heart. I'll fix the rest." He had surgery, and within days, he was back on the pitch. No fear, just fire. At 16, he shocked Sporting's first team by outplaying professionals twice his age. That performance sparked a wave that traveled all the way to England. Sir Alex Ferguson had heard of him, but seeing him live changed everything. In a friendly match between Sporting CP and Manchester United, Cristiano tore through the defense like lightning. After the game, United's players begged Ferguson to sign him. He became the first Portuguese player to join Manchester United. And he wasn't just there to wear the jersey. He came to own it. At Old Trafford, Cristiano's transformation exploded. He was mocked for his step-overs, criticized for being flashy, but behind the scenes, he was a machine. While others rested after training, he stayed. He trained alone in the dark, sprinting, shooting, practicing free kicks until his legs gave out. He studied his own matches, rewinding every mistake until he knew how to erase them. He transformed his body, adding muscle, speed, and power. The skinny boy became a sculpted athlete. He learned to use both feet, to head the ball like a sniper, to shoot from anywhere. His game evolved just like his mindset: obsessed, hungry, relentless. By 23, he was the best in England. By 25, he was on top of the world. Then came Real. They paid a record-breaking fee to bring him to Spain. The pressure was unreal. Fans expected miracles, and Cristiano delivered. Year after year, goal after goal. He scored 450 goals in just 438 games for Real Madrid. Records fell at his feet. But he didn't just become a legend at Madrid. He became a machine, a man who ate, breathed, and bled excellence. While others partied, he trained. While others aged, he evolved. He hired private chefs, nutritionists, and recovery specialists. Every calorie, every rep, every hour of sleep calculated. This wasn't just football anymore. This was legacy. He won 5 Ballon d'Ors, 5 Champions Leagues, league titles in 3 countries, and became the all-time top scorer in UEFA Champions League history. He did what no one else had done, succeed at the highest level everywhere he went. Even at 36, when many retire, Ronaldo kept going. He returned to Manchester United, then to Juventus, then to Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia, still scoring, still pushing, still proving that greatness isn't a moment. It's a mindset. And now in 2025, he's 40, but you wouldn't know it. His biological age is under 29. His body's still elite. His hunger, still unmatched. From a boy with no boots to a man with gold-plated cleats. From a small island to every screen on earth. He is not just a footballer. He is a reminder that dreams are possible if you work for them harder than anyone else ever has. And that's the story of Cristiano Ronaldo, the legend who didn't just chase greatness, he became it. If this story inspired you, even a little, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more real-life transformation stories that move your heart and ignite your spirit. Your support helps me keep telling stories that matter. The moment Cristiano Ronaldo arrived in Madrid, the spotlight burned hotter than ever before. The fee, 94 million euros, 0 cents, was the most expensive in football history at the time. The expectations, even higher. Real Madrid wasn't just a club, it was a kingdom. And Ronaldo was expected to rule. But pressure, he welcomed it. At his presentation at the Santiago Bernabeu, over 80,000 fans filled the stadium, not for a match, but to see him walk out in white. He smiled, waved, and promised one thing: I will give everything. And he did. From the first season, Ronaldo made one thing clear. He was not here to play second to anyone. He scored 33 goals in 35 games, but it was just the beginning. Because in Spain, he wasn't alone. There was Messi, 2 men, 2 ideologies, 2 relentless forces, 1 mission: be the greatest. It wasn't just football anymore. It was war every weekend, every record, every title. Barcelona had their magician. Madrid had their machine. While Messi danced with the ball like it was a part of him, Ronaldo crushed defenses like a storm. Left foot, right foot, headers from impossible heights, free kicks that bent physics. He wasn't graceful, he was ruthless. And every time Messi broke a record, Ronaldo shattered another. Between 2010 and 2018, Ronaldo scored 450 goals in just 438 games for Real Madrid. That's more than 1 goal every game for almost a decade. He helped Madrid win 4 Champions League titles in 5 years, including 3 in a row, something no modern club had ever done. He was the top scorer in all those campaigns. In the moments, iconic. That bicycle kick against Juventus in 2018, a goal so unbelievable, even Juventus fans stood up and applauded. That hat trick against Wolfsburg in 2016, turning a 2-0 first leg defeat into a 3-2 victory almost single-handedly. That penalty against Atletico Madrid in the dying minutes of the Champions League semifinal, cold, clinical, didn't just play games, he owned moments. Off the pitch, Ronaldo was no longer just a player. He became a brand. CR7 exploded. Clothing lines, fragrances, gyms, hotels. His face was everywhere. He was the most followed athlete in the world, the most talked about, the most marketable. But fame never distracted him from the grind. While many stars faded in their 30s, Ronaldo only got better. He worked harder, slept earlier, ate cleaner. He hired personal chefs, recovery experts, and trained even during vacations. He built a body that seemed built for war, not just football. And still, with all the trophies, the endorsements, the fame, he was hungry. Because Ronaldo wasn't chasing Messi or titles. After 9 unforgettable seasons, countless trophies, and 450 goals, Cristiano Ronaldo stood at a crossroads. He had conquered Spain. The Santiago Bernabeu roared his name like a king, but inside, he knew he needed a new challenge. The hunger wasn't gone, it had simply shifted. In the summer of 2018, he left Rome. The world was stunned. Some said he should have retired there, but Ronaldo was never a man to play it safe. He wasn't done rewriting history, so he went to Italy, to Juventus. He arrived in Turin not as a prospect, but as a global icon. And yet, once again, he had to prove himself. A new country, a new league, new teammates. The critics questioned the move. Could he adapt? Could he still dominate at 33? He didn't just adapt. He elevated the entire league. His first season in Serie A, he scored 21 goals and led Juventus to another league title. But it wasn't just the numbers. It was the aura. The stadiums were packed just to see him. Merch sales exploded. TV ratings soared. Even rival fans waited outside hotels just for a glimpse. In 2021, he became the fastest player to reach 100 goals in Juventus history. But his time in Italy wasn't just trophies and cheers. The Champions League title remained elusive. Juventus was knocked out in shocking fashion by Ajax, then Lyon, then Porto. The burden fell on Ronaldo's shoulders. And though he performed scoring in key matches, delivering hat tricks, football's a team game, he could carry them far, but not forever. At 36, most players are thinking of retirement, but Ronaldo wasn't done. He didn't want comfort. He wanted legacy. So in the summer of 2021, something extraordinary happened. After months of rumors, Cristiano Ronaldo returned to where he became a star, Manchester United. You know, the Premier League had changed. The competition was fiercer. The game had evolved. But when he stepped onto Old Trafford again, it felt like time stood still. The roar of 70,000 voices chanting Viva Ronaldo echoed like it did in 2003. And on his second debut, he scored twice. Critics were silenced. Fans were emotional. Football had its headline moment of the year. That season, he finished as United's top scorer with 24 goals in all competitions. He scored clutch goals in the Champions League, including last-minute winners against Villarreal and Atalanta. He carried the team when it faltered. But behind the goals, United was in chaos. Managers came and went. Tactics failed. Ronaldo's professionalism stood out. But he couldn't fix the cracks alone. He spoke up, called out the lack of ambition, demanded better. Some loved him for it. Others criticized him. But that's who Ronaldo is. He speaks truth even when it shakes things. By 2022, it was clear his journey with United had reached its end. In a shocking interview, he laid bare the dysfunction behind the scenes. Days later, the club terminated his contract. And just like that, Ronaldo was a free agent. But the story wasn't over. In December 2022, Cristiano Ronaldo signed with Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. The world watched in disbelief. Some said it was the end, a fall from grace, a move for money. But once again, Ronaldo saw something no one else did. He wasn't just playing for a club anymore. He was pioneering a revolution. His arrival sparked a domino effect. Within months, elite players like Benzema, Neymar, Mane, and many more followed. TV deals expanded. Stadiums were upgraded. Kids in Saudi Arabia started wearing Ronaldo's name on their backs. He turned the league into a global attraction. And his performance, still elite. Goals, assists, leadership. At 38, 39, now 40, he was still producing numbers players a decade younger couldn't touch. But more than that, Ronaldo had become something beyond he was a global ambassador of excellence. From fitness to fashion, from humanitarian work to family values, Ronaldo inspired millions. He built schools, donated millions, supported hospitals, helped sick children, all without cameras, all without shouting about it. He avoided tattoos because he regularly donates blood. He never drank alcohol because of his father's past. He stayed in shape, not just for vanity, but to show what discipline can do. He became a blueprint of discipline, of ambition, of longevity. And now in 2025, at 40 years old, he still plays. Still trains like he's 25. Still smiles when the ball hits the net. You don't see players like Ronaldo every generation. You don't even see them every lifetime, because greatness isn't born, it's built day by day, brick by brick, through tears, failure, comebacks, and sacrifice. From a hungry boy in Madeira who used to beg for burgers after training, to a man who built an empire and carried the dreams of millions. Cristiano Ronaldo's story isn't just about football. It's about what's possible when you believe and when you work harder than anyone else. Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't just live a life that people admire. He lives one that defies belief. But behind the millions of fans, the towering trophies, and the superhuman goals, there's a side of Ronaldo few talk about. The man who wakes up at dawn not because he has to, but because he refuses to let yesterday be his peak. Long after the stadiums fall silent, he is still working. Long after the camera flashes fade, he is still sweating. For Ronaldo, the grind isn't punishment, it's privilege. Many know about the boy who came from poverty, who slept in a small room with 3 siblings, who couldn't afford a proper meal after training. But fewer know about the nights he spent crying alone in Lisbon at just 12 years old. missing his family, wondering if the sacrifice would ever be worth it. He was mocked for his accent, bullied for his skinny frame, laughed at for crying after losing matches. But instead of hardening his heart, he sharpened his mindset. He wasn't afraid to feel. He wasn't afraid to care. And that made him dangerous because he trained with emotion, with obsession, with a sense that if he didn't become the best, all his pain would have been for nothing. His fire followed him into adulthood. At 18, while others went to parties, Ronaldo was training. At 25, while others enjoyed fame, he was counting his calories. At 35, when legends were already retired, he was breaking sprint records. Even now, in his 40s, when most players are coaching or commentating, Ronaldo's still playing professionally, still scoring, still refusing to accept that enough is a finish line. Why? Because Ronaldo never played football just for fun. He played to win. He played to change his mother's life, to make his late father proud, to give his children a name that stood for something beyond fame, a name that meant legacy. Ask him, and he'll say it's not about being better than Messi or Pele or anyone else. My biggest competition, he once said, is the man I was yesterday. That's why he doesn't drink. That's why he's never touched a cigarette. That's why he doesn't have tattoos, so he can keep donating blood. It's why he built his entire routine around recovery, hydration, sleep, and mindfulness. It's not just discipline, it's devotion. He's surrounded himself with a small circle, people he trusts, people who share his vision. There are no distractions in Ronaldo's life, only direction. He eats 5 to 6 micro meals a day. His chefs craft meals that optimize muscle and energy. His sleep schedule is structured. His workouts, brutal. Ice baths, resistance training, sprint drills, yoga, everything engineered to extract just 1% more every day. Because Ronaldo understands something few do. The body's the engine of greatness, but the mind is the driver. And his mind is a fortress. Even when millions criticized him, even when fans booed him in his own stadium, even when his own club doubted him, he stayed focused. Even after being benched for Portugal, even after Manchester United terminated his contract, even when others said he's finished, he didn't lash out. He trained harder, came back stronger, let the results speak. And they did. In the 2022 World Cup, despite starting as a sub, his presence inspired, his energy uplifted, his hunger remained unshaken. And when he scored his 700th career club goal, he did it not with arrogance, but with quiet resolve. Because for him, it was never about applause. It was about proving the boy from Madeira right. But success hasn't changed its values. Ronaldo is a family man first. He's raised children to understand humility, hard work, and respect. He shows them his training, shares his routines, teaches them what it means to dream and what it costs to chase that dream. He has spoken about the moment he lost his newborn son. A tragedy that would break any parent. But even in grief, Ronaldo showed courage. He returned to the pitch, played with tears in his eyes, and never once asked for sympathy. He believes in showing up, even when it hurts. That's what separates him. And it's why his story is about more than football. It's about resilience, integrity, evolution. Cristiano Ronaldo is more than just the numbers. Though they are staggering, 800-plus career goals, 5 Ballon d'Ors, 5 Champions Leagues, 7 league titles. He's more than the richest athlete, more than the most followed person on Instagram. He is a lesson. That talent means nothing without work. That dreams mean nothing without sacrifice. That legacy means everything. When you build it with intention, from humble streets to royal stadiums, from sleeping hungry to feeding nations, from rejection to recognition. Cristiano Ronaldo is not just a football story. He is a human blueprint for ambition. And he's not done. Not yet. If this story inspired you even just a little, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I bring you real stories of extraordinary lives that remind you how powerful the human spirit can be. Every subscriber helps keep these stories alive. Every like helps them reach someone who needs hope. Every comment builds this community of dreamers and doers. Subscribe now and join the journey to greatness.